A lot of people are talking about Nicki Minaj right now. A lot of people are talking about Nicki Minaj. But the crazy thing I'm noticing is what they're saying. So a lot of people are talking about Nicki Minaj, but the question is, what are they saying? Because a lot of people want to use what Nicki Minaj want to take clips, want to take portions. Oh, I'm just going to take this little clip, just snip it, and use it to fit my agenda. And I mean, you got people on YouTube doing that. You've got Newsweek. Newsweek actually did had an article about it, and the way if you don't even click on the article, if you just see like the headline and everything, they're they're suggesting a narrative that isn't at all accurate. But like, if you saw before even the interview, before Nicki Minaj and Joe Budden had their interview together, um, if you see what Nicki Minaj and Joe Budden did on her live, on IG live, because she got into some stuff there, and she said a lot of things that are very important. Because right now you've got this space, and over the past few months, I'm looking at the space and I'm seeing just increasing levels of nonsense. I'm seeing black women saying the most vicious, ridiculous stuff about black men. Like they sound like this the stuff they're saying sounds like it was coming out of a Nazi's mouth, neo-Nazi groups. And then I'm seeing black men saying the same thing about black women. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. But we got to talk about the interview, because Nicki actually talks about some of these things. In fact, she made a statement. She made a statement that got some people pissed off. Made a statement that got under some people's skin. So I'm going to kind of paraphrase what she said. But all you dudes that be rating women on your podcast, you can take those ratings and shove it where the sun don't shine. I paraphrased. She used slightly different language at the end. She didn't say, she essentially said where the sun don't shine, but that's not exactly what she said. Um, it is what it is. Okay, so what are you saying? Are you saying that you think that it's not a problem? It's cool that the current state of where black men and black women are? Because right now it's what I'm seeing is pure, like, just it's nonstop drama, and it's toxic. It's toxic as hell, because like stuff that could be had in a regular conversation is being said online, and a lot of people are like, okay, if I can say the most ridiculous, the most over the top stuff about black men or about black women, you got black men say, if I can say the most over the top stuff about black women, I get more ratings. Black women saying, if I can say the most over the top crazy out of this world stuff about black men, I get more ratings, I get more views. And that's another question we have to ask: why is this stuff being so heavily promoted? Like, is this what people, is this what black people are looking for, or is this stuff being pumped up artificially? uh Hello, my guy. Welcome to the stream, Trey's Town. Welcome. Because it's crazy. But look at what, so let's go back to what Nicki Minaj said. All you dudes that be rating women on your podcast, you can take those ratings and shove it where the sun don't shine. Now, who she's talking about? Because let's take a little trip in the Wayback Machine. Take a little trip in the Wayback Machine, and let's realize that, what was it, a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, Kevin Samuels, Nicki Minaj is doing a live on her IG. Kevin Samuels is in her comment section, and she's like, "Oh wait, Kevin Samuels, is that okay? Let me pull you up." She pulls him up onto the live. They start talking. They have a conversation, and a lot of people may have expected the conversation to go one way, but it didn't go that way. It was a very cordial. It was a very cordial conversation. She even asked him to rate her, like, and you could tell that she may have been testing him. She was like, "Okay, let me see what kind of time this, Kevin Samuels is on," because no doubt she's heard about Kevin Samuels. No doubt, in fact, she even said she had seen clips from Kevin Samuels, and so now, having Kevin Samuels face to face, she's like, "Okay, let me test. Let me see if the stuff I'm hearing about him is what I'm going to see when I'm dealing with him, face to face, so to speak." And the conversation went real smooth. But some people didn't like that. Some people were like, "Okay, Trey's Town. It's just the fact people just like keeping black people down." Yeah, listen, there is an intentional coordinated effort to keep drama, to keep negativity going, to keep kind of all kinds of bull, all kinds of garbage going on, keep black people at each other's throats. Because if we're at each other's throats, you know what we're not doing? We're not building. If we're at each other's throats, we're not improving our own situations. If we're at each other's throats, people that want us, people that want us out the way, get to keep us out the way because we're doing what we're doing their job for them. Like it is what it is. Like that's what it is. Um, and so like, but Kevin Samuels and her were talking, and it went well. But then a lot of people afterwards was like, "Oh, Kevin should have came at her like he came at that average at best chick." And I'm like, okay, let's just take a look at this for a second. That in itself doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for Kevin Samuels to go at Nicki Minaj at the average at best chick the same way he went at the average at best chick. Why? For if for no other reason that Nicki Minaj is not average at best. Nicki Minaj is not like stop it, stop. And anybody that tries to say that is capping. They pure capping. It's not. It is objectively untrue. Nicki Minaj is not average at best. Nicki Minaj is not your average woman. She's not. So you could say, oh well, they're women that are better looking. Okay, but she is good looking, and she is famous. She is rich. She there's so many qualities that Nicki Minaj has. She has her own. She's a megastar. So to say that there's no comparison between Nicki Minaj and the woman who's average at best, there's no comparison. None. None. So for people to be claiming that Kevin Samuels should have came at Nicki Minaj the same way he came at average at best, that makes no sense. Because Nicki Minaj is not average at best. She's not. Um, Kevin Samuels is adding fuel to the fire like all these other red pill high value YouTubers. But you see, okay, PJ, I hear what you're saying. And a lot of people don't like, and even it appeared that Nicki, when she was having this conversation with Kevin, she wanted to see for herself. But what Kevin proved in that moment was, hey, I'm perfectly capable of having just a respectful conversation. Black man, black woman. We just have a very, a respectful discussion about black relationships. Like that's it. So he proved in that moment, okay. But the question is, he did that. He proved that. But now, last week, because this was like a month ago. Last week, Nicki Minaj makes the statement, but all you dudes that be rating women on your podcast, you can take those ratings and shove it where the sun don't shine. It's not exactly, she didn't say where the sun don't shine. She used some stronger language in place of where the sun don't shine. But that's what she said. So now the question is, are the same people that were criticizing Kevin Samuels, are they now right? Do they now get to say, see, Kevin, you should have came at her like same way as average at best, because now she's coming at you. Because a lot of people may have thought that. I know when I first saw that clip, I was like, wow, that's different, considering it seemed like they had a very cordial interaction. It seemed like Nicki Minaj and Kevin Samuels had a real cordial interaction. So for her to come back and say, all you do is that be rating women on your podcast, you can take those ratings and shove it where the sun don't shine. I said that seems kind of like out of line, especially since you seem to have gotten along so well. But the question is, was she talking about Kevin Samuels? That's what's key. It may have seemed to some initially that she was talking about Kevin Samuels, and there are people that are trying to spin it that like she was talking about Kevin Samuels, and there are people that are trying to spin it that she's talking about all black men. But if you listen to more of what Nicki Minaj says, you get a clearer picture of what she's saying. But if Nicki Minaj was defending women, and as some people have characterized it, if she was attacking men, how is she ending the gender war? There's a reason why I say she's ending the gender war. Because she said more than that. She didn't just say it's not embarrassed black woman season. She said a lot more. And if we take it back to Kevin Samuels, because a lot of people think she was talking about Kevin Samuels. You know what she said about Kevin Samuels? She says, because remember, not only did she have that conversation with Kevin Samuels, after that, a lot of people were criticizing Kevin Samuels, saying, "Oh, he should have told her how it is and broke it down for her. He should have like kept it real with her, like he kept it real with average at best." Okay, But they may have thought once she said this, oh, see, Kevin played himself. But what she said about Kevin was this. She says, and no, I'm not talking about Kevin Samuels. So when she said, all you do is that be rating women on your podcast, you can take those ratings and shove it where the sun don't shine. She said, I'm not talking about Kevin Samuels. She specifically said, I'm not saying this about Kevin Samuels, because I talked to Kevin Samuels and we had a very respectful conversation. Think about that. They had a conversation. They were talking about black relationships, but guess what? It didn't have to get negative. It didn't have to get disrespectful. It didn't have to descend into this gender war nonsense. They had a respectful conversation. The space exists for black men and black women to talk to each other and to listen to each other and have productive discussions. But there are a bunch of clowns out here that aren't trying to do that. There are a bunch of clowns out here that just want ratings in some cases, and in some cases they're clowns because, like she says, you got these clowns who are just mad at black women because they got their heart broken. They feel ugly and unwanted, and they got their heart broken, and so now they feel, okay, I'm going to attack black women. Tell me if you think that there's some of these dudes in there in the space that are just bitter and like harboring these feelings of rejection and resentment towards black women because they got rejected by black women. Like it's obvious. Like there's dudes that have been asked specific questions and they don't want to answer them. Have you ever gotten your and they keep evading the question? But the question is, if she wasn't talking about Kevin Samuels, who was she talking about? Thank you for checking out this clip of Escaping the Echo Chamber. If you would like to see the entire live stream, you can click on the screen now, or you can click the link down below in the description.